Amar Evu. Mishum Rav Elazar Rav Tzaddik. And again, this is a completely random halacha, only brought down because it's Evu in the name of Rav Elazar Rav Tzaddik, and therefore we quote another memra of Evu in the name of Rav Elazar Rav Tzaddik. Says Evu, Al Yahalich Adam Be'arvei Shabbos. One should not literally walk or travel on Erev Shabbos. Yoiser Migimol Parsais. More than 3 parsais. Now, you hear this statement, and we think that the reason is, you're going to get stranded, you're not going to make it home for Shabbos, which, that might be true. But the Gemara, as we're about to see, that wasn't really the concern. Let's see. Says the Gemara. Amar Rav Kahana. Lo Amaron. This was not said. Elo lebese. Only if you're going home. If you're going home, you shouldn't travel more than 3 parsais on a Friday. Which just sounds interesting. We'll see Rashi in a moment. But if you're traveling to an inn, then it's not a problem. Why is it not a problem? Because amai dinokat samich. On that which you have with you, samich, you rely. So we clearly see that this is something to do with not being fully prepared for Shabbos. But for some reason, we're saying that to go home, you're not allowed to do, but to go to an inn, you're allowed to do. Oh, so but you're assuming that you're going home and there's no one else in your house. So that would be the easiest way of learning. Oh, yeah. So good. So you're all right, but let's look at Rashi. Rashi goes a little bit deeper. And the reason why it's important, because we're going to see in a moment the next gear, so the next lashon, which is going to flip it. Says the Gemara. Erev Tov Rav Neich. Says the Gemara. Nachmo, we're talking about traveling on an Erev Shabbos. Says the Gemara. Let's look at the end of the narrow lines in Rashi. Lo yahalich ella yishva yisaloi ba'oid yom gadol. You should make sure to travel while the day is still great. Now Rashi throws in another few words. Yachin loy, and you should prepare Seudas Shabbos. Okay. Ela lebese, so says the Gemara says only if you're going home, you shouldn't do this. So it sounds like this is paint our mashal. If you're on a business trip, pertinent mashal, we have business trips on Zoom. If you're on a business trip, don't leave Friday and travel 3 parsayis close to Shabbos. Why not? Says Rashi, you're going home. Now, does your house have any clue that you're coming? Well, we're like, well, yeah, of course. No, there's no phones. This is the minds of Chazal. So you go on a business trip. Honey, I'll see you whenever. What does that mean? Days, weeks, months? Fascinating world. And then you're going home now. So if you're going to go home on a Friday, and what's going to happen? Vehem and they, your house, they don't know you're coming home today. And they're not going to prepare for you. And you're going to get upset at them. Fascinating musik. So let's just get the details. Nachamo, you come home, 5 minutes for a Shabbos, table set, your seat's not set. Honey, I'm home. Oh, okay. Well, we only made 6 pieces of chicken, so you're not getting a piece of chicken because we didn't know you're coming. We only made 6 pieces of gefilte fish, and we didn't make you one. We didn't know you're coming. So the issue is you're not going to have food. 1 second, just look at the contrast before you ask. But what's the contrast? If you're going to an inn, when Rashi on the third white line, that which you have with you, you rely. If you're traveling to an inn, you're not seimich on the people there. V'noisei imai seudasai. So you take with yourself your own food. So you're showing up to the inn and you have prepared your wine, your gefilte fish, your challah, your chicken. You're good. So you could show up 1 minute before Shabbos. But if you're going home and they're not going to prepare for you, you can not. Good. What are the questions before we see how the Gemara is about to flip this 100%?
If I would just read the first Rashi of El Labese, I would think the issue is that there's no food, and the problem is that he's mad.
That is exactly what it sounds like.
Why
is that a problem?
Why is that a problem? Why is Rashi not saying the obvious, and then they're going to prepare for him, or he won't have food? Or
how they prepare for him? It's Shabbos.
Oh, so that's why you don't do that. But
no,
but
so what's the Nikud of Ukay?
Who cares?
Good.
Who cares? Period.
So there's many ways to go here. We know that this is clearly a Takana Derabanan, and we know that there are many Derabanans created that the way you act on a Friday is to ensure optimal Einig Shabbos. Lamash. You're not supposed to have a tooth matziv on a Friday. Why not? Because you're going to go into Shabbos and you're going to be in pain. So what's the nikuda that's the issue? The issue is the lack of Einig Shabbos is the issue. That's what the issue is. So why
again, the question still stands.
Yeah.
And there won't be food on Shabbos. It's not optimal Einig Shabbos.
So why does he throw
Why is the problem? But being koyis is not the lack of Einig. The lack of Einig is the lack of food.
So I think it's both of them. I think Rashi is explaining to us that number one, you can have no food. And if it would just stop there, that would be problem A. But now it goes problem B. Why do we light candles Friday night? One of the reasons why candles is so you don't have ukayis aleim, because candles ensure that a sholem bayis. Explain the mafarshim why. Because you don't have lights, what happens? You trip, you get messed up, you didn't see that, and everyone's screaming at each other. So the Chazal make takanas to ensure not fights. So this would make fights. But I do agree with you that I do believe those last few words in Rashi are extra. Again. No, well, you're going to see it is after the food, because what's the contrast? That Lushpize, that when you're going to an inn, then it's no problem. Why? Because you have your food with you.
But what about the people who are hosting you?
No one's hosting you. Oh, so clearly the Ushpize here.
But okay, but they don't
have
bed for you.
No. So it sounds like we got to go Bezman Chazal. You pull up on the side of the road. You're not going to indoor. You ask them, do they have a bed? And if they don't have a bed, you sleep in the wagon, and that's it. You have Shabbos. Are you going to have Shabbos? Yes. So you could ask, what type of Shabbos is that? That would be a good question. Well, good. I'm not disagreeing.
Again, it's contrasting to like going to the extreme of like making sure like everything, the I's are dotted and the
I happen to agree with you, but look at the contrast for a minute. Look at the Ikadi Amri. Okay. Ikadi Amri says the Gemara another lashon. The exact opposite. So it's just, whenever you're fighting in Svara, it's nice to see how the other Svaras brought it also. Rav Kahana, Loi Nitzracha, this thing is not relevant. Ella afilu lebeisei. What does that mean? Says Rashi, afilu lebeisei, dimasha moitzi, because you're coming home. That which you're going to find in Ma'at, they'll have the fish. Imrav, they won't, they will. It's a little, it's a lot. Shalayu. And yet, Afal Pikein lo yahalech. Even though you're going home, and let's say you come home and there's no fish, there's no chicken from you. No, Tati's been away for 6 months. They'll make do and they'll give him epis dos, and it's your own bed, it'll be okay. Vikol shekain, and certainly li'ushpize, you should not travel. Why? Shalayim saklom, you're not going to have anything.
What Raj said before, that he comes with
good. So the previous Rash said you go to your inn, I agree with you. Now the Gemara is saying what's the Ikadi Amri is that you should not travel home on an Erev Shabbos, even though in home you'll make do, and certainly you shouldn't travel anywhere. Now, happens to be we paskin like the second lashon, which gets things pretty complicated, because it sounds like even if you're going to make do, even if you'll end up, finding some food, you still shouldn't travel home on an Erev Shabbos. Now, the question is, why not? Why not? Rashi didn't tell us why not.
Hey, you're still going to be upset.
Oh, so maybe that's the reason. We don't know. Rashi says afilu beisei. Again, look at Rashi. What does Rashi say? Afilu beisei. Whatever you find, it's going to be enough, and he still can't do it. Now look at the Gemara. The Gemara now proves Rav Kahana proves his theory. Amar Rav Kahana says Rav Kahana. Betiti Abiyuvda. I had a story. I traveled home on Erev Shabbos, and guess what? Va'afilu, and even Kisa daharsina loy ashkecha. Kisa daharsina is mamish, a little bit of fish, a little bit of brine. Even that I did not have. So if Kahana proving that mamish, you should never travel on an Erev Shabbos.
Well, where was he going? To his house or to an inn?
Good. It sounds like Mamanashach is proving that you're not having no food. Now,
which sounds like the Ikeda Amri.
Yes, exactly. Now, the $1 million question is: we live in a world where there's food. There's no such thing anymore, right? You learn Gemara. Yeah, the guy died of starvation. Like, died of starvation. You can live off the show garbage, literally. And you'll be fed well. You can even get food in like containers in the garbage. So, how does this apply nowadays? So, if the Vard is like you were saying, it's a Vard if you're going to get upset. So, even if you might end up finding food, if you're going to cause a matziv of upset, you shouldn't do it. And that, there are other halachas, but that is the way that it sounds like we paskin. I'll give you one mashal. It says you shouldn't go on a boat within 3 days of Shabbos because it takes 3 days to get used to the seasickness. And over Shabbos, you're going to be seasick. So, mabaya. I'm on this gorgeous. The answer is anything that's going to cause that you're going to proactively go into Shabbos in a lack of Eining Shabbos, we're not supposed to do Midrabanan. So that's what it sounds like. But I do agree.
What?
I mean, teach their own. Some people, that's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if the husband or the wife would survive very well on a Gansa day and a Friday being home. I don't know if it's good for anyone, but it should be good for everyone.
Well, some people don't work out for chatzais. Like my friends that they like that chatzais.
What you're thinking that?
I'm like, it's 12:03.
Yeah.
Chatzais. I'm like,
no, it's real zach. It's got to go down.
I want to tell him the chatzais in the summer is at 1:30.
no.
12 is chatzais. It doesn't matter.
Whatever time it's like the first 2 times, like whatever. Then like.
That's it. That's a real deal. Yeah. I know.
Sales after chatzais.
I know people. A lot of people.
Wow. You know, crazy.
But this is the first that we'll see. I mean, I don't know about Kinyan Succah, but it's an idea that it has to be addressed. That we see how careful Chazal are for Einik Shabbos. They make gezeras how far we should go on a Friday to ensure that. And obviously, we'll just point out that practically you don't need to be yena lo yitzlach on Chveis Yeshiva World News that your car broke down and you picked up. It's not so gishmak. Might be gishmak in the post for one time, but like it's not gishmak. Not gishmak showing up on Anyways, weiter.
Thursday night.
Thursday table set shop.
Mayerdik. I feel like in my house the dishes would break. But anyways, weiter. Mitzvahs lulav ketzad. Mitzvahs. We're done. 3 random memras. 2 plus our original din of Arava. And now we circle back around to the Heilige Kinyan Succah with a nice, small finishing. Mitzvahs lulav ketzad. If you remember way back when in our Mishnah, the Mishnah taught us that what would they do with the lulav? They bring it to the Harabayis. And where would they put it? Very good. On top of the Itztabas, the Zakinim had their VIP rooms. And the next day, they would chuck the lulav. Says the Gemara, Tana Kamei Derab Nachman, on the last line. Soidrin, they would arrange it al gag, not gav, gag, on the roof of the Itztaba. So I got to look. Do you have these pictures in the back of this one?
Yeah.
I don't know if this one has it. No, this is the next picture. Yes. Oh, okay. Baruch Hashem. Look on page 57. Nunzayin, you don't have pictures.
Just me and Matt.
You and Matt got this, he got bound, and he got this. Okay, we all got different Gemaras. We'll pass it around in a minute. But look over here. This is the rows, and it's basically a covered, like a covered bleachers. Covered bleachers. So they put the lulavim on top of the roof. Hold this. You need to come back here in a moment. Sorry, I stole your phone. See over here? It's like a covered bleach. Oh, you're trying to get it on Zoom? Yeah.
There we go. Everyone could see, I'm sure.
Pause, you zoom in and you see nothing. Okay. Frakti Gemara, Amar Lei. 1 second. Sounds like a bad idea to put your lulav on the sun. What do you need to dry out your lulav? What are you doing? Erev Shabbos, show up to the Beis Hamikdash, put the lulav on the roof. Do you need to dry it out? And Rashi fills in, which we know, but if it's dry, it's possible. Okay, we knew that Rashi, but okay. Elaima says the Gemara, you know what it means? Not al gag. Al gavoitztaba means what? On top of the bench. Which maybe, I was just thinking, maybe that's why there's a roof. So that you could put it on top of the you can put it on top of the bench, and then there's no sun.
I miss in the garage when we learned Talmud. We had
the wall. When we come back to Talmud, we'll get another sun. Come back to Talmud.
You should always be able to know where the Beis Hamikdash is.
Shtickle diagram. Shtickle diagram. We should come back to Talmud. We really should. Al gava itztava. No, you put it on top of the benches. Okay. Mayurdik. Amar Rachava. Chanukah. Listen, I've gone
8 days, 9 blood.
I've got Talmud crazy, so I had 9,500 blot of Talmud learned this summer. You know, I don't have exactly. I shot 3 times. Oh, why do you think Agag? Good. So l'chayra, this is one of those girsa shtickles. You know, Tani Tana Kamid Rav Nachman. They learned in front of Rav Nachman, meaning, again, we have to remember it's all Torah Shabbat Peh. So as it was transmitted, so one day a guy came in and said, "Oh, the Rebbe told me. You know where they put the lovim? Yeah, Mamash broke a telephone. They put the lovim on the roof." And some guy yells out to Tippish, "What, you need to try that?" "Oh, you're right. He meant to say, like we have in our Mishnah."
One guy was sitting in the back. He heard Gag, and the guy was
Exactly. Amar Rachava, Amar Rav Yehuda. Another detail on this, you'll have a picture of this in a moment. Harabayis Stiv Kafel Haya. Stiv is a bench. Kafel is doubled. It was a double bench. Stiv Kafel Haya. Stiv, a bench. Lifnim mi Stiv, from within a bench. So look at the picture over here, somewhere.
Here, this one.
Yeah. It's
like upstairs and downstairs.
Yeah, it's like a stadium style, two
seating.
Tiered seating, exactly. Tiered seating. Stiv Kafel Haya. Yeah, the picture, they should have turned on the light a little bit on the picture. Okay. Okay, we're gonna stop at the Mishnah. You're doing Chazar tomorrow? That's what Avi says.
I don't know when I'm going to
Send me a reminder. This is
It's one easy Amid. No, but it's
the whole Amid.
Well,
today's
no with
tomorrow night.
No, from right here, just from here.
Okay,
just from here. Bekamashira. It's easy. It's one Amid. But it's hard in the reading. I think
we'll be okay.
So the reason why I'm saying that is I want to.
You remind me.
Perfect.
No, I could do. Just you have to remind me.
Fine. I'm gonna send Avi a message at some point
tomorrow than
normal. But wait. So because of that, let's start the new Mishnah. Let's start the new Mishnah now. We're not gonna do Chazar now because tomorrow night we're gonna do a full Chazar. Is that yeah? We go with that? Okay. Mitzvahs Arava Kitzah. Let's just begin the Mishnah. The mitzvah of Arava Kitzah. How do we do it? There was a place, lemata, literally underneath Yerushalayim, on the bottom. V'nikra, and the place was called Moitza. That was the name of the place. Okay, so pencil it in on the map. Yardim, they went down, Lisham to there, Umelaktim, and they would gather or pick Misham from there. Murbios shel arava. We had the word murbios already, I believe. Did we not? We did have it, right? We did have it. I still don't remember where we had it. That's just bothering me. I can tell you what it means, but it's a twig. We had bade. Murbios shel arava. Murbios shel. You found it? Oh, there you go. You win the Chazar Award. I'm killing the base in the bottom. Murbiya Shalarava, very good. Very good. About 12 lines on the bottom of the Gimel base. Murbiya Shalarava, Mayridik. So they would pick from there Murbiya Shalarava, Ubain, and they would come, Vizaikfin, all these words we've had now, and they would stand it up, Isan, them, those are Ravais, Bitzide HaMizbeach, on the side of the Mizbeach, Ve'roi Shehen, and the heads of the Aravais, Kfufin, were bent. We did not have that word yet. We had that in the very beginning of the Masechta. Those who were here, we had this. Kfufin were bent. Yes. Al gabe hamizbeach, on top of the mizbeach. So you had the Arava standing up with the tops bent over on top of the mizbeach. Now this might be where someone was asking. David, I think, was asking. He's doing carpal tonight. Where when we did Hoshana Rabbah, we blew shofar in between each round. People said, "V'alsap is." This might be where it comes from.
In between each Mishnah?
You do 7. In between each one, you pause and you blow a shofar once. Yeah. One tekiah. Yeah. You want to know, like, is it my minhag, the show minhag? No. Shoshi asked. He said, we davened in Chvaist, or whatever European country you grew up in. They used to do it. So
I grew up with that.
You also grew up then? It's official.
Tekiah?
Yeah. It's a Chassidish minhag, but it's not all Chassidim. That's why it's weird.
Top of it is.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it's not all Chassidim. I've been in other places. Some yes, some. So, anyways, can't hurt. It's a nice zach. I happen to like it. Not that we decide things by our own desires, but it's a minhag. Okay. Either way, back to us. So they put the Arabas around the mizbeach with their tops bent over, and then tiku, they blew a tekiah. V'heriu, they blew a trua. V'tiku, and they blew a tekiah. So again, what do? They went down to this place called Maitza. They gathered from there some piece of arava, brought it back to Beis Hamikdash, stood them around the Mizbeach, and blew shofar. B'chol yoyim, every day, ma'akifin es Mizbeach, they would literally go around the ma'akifin, pamachas, one time, v'oimrim, and what would they say? Ana Hashem Oishiana, Ana Hashem Atzlichana. Now just remember, Tefillah Bisman Beis Hamikdash is very different than Tefillah nowadays. They didn't, so this was the Tefillah. That's all they really did. They walked around, they said, Hashem Shira, Hashem Slicha. Rav Yehuda Omer, Ani v'hoi hoishiana. Okay. V'oisayim. And on that day, what's that day? Hoshana Rabbah. Ma'akifin es ha-mizbeach, they would surround the mizbeach. Sheva pamim. 7 times. Period. Bishas piti rasan. Now, no one died. It means when they took leave of the mizbeach, when they finished. Bishas piti rasan. Mahi naivrim. What would they say? They would almost talk to the mizbeach on the way out. Yoifi, it's beautiful. L'cha mizbeach, to you the mizbeach. Yoifi l'cha mizbeach, and it's beautiful to you the mizbeach. Rav Elazar Omer, a little bit of a different lashon. Le'ka u'le'v'lach mizbeach, to Hashem and to you the mizbeach. Le'ka v'lach mizbeach, to Hashem and to you the mizbeach. Kim ma'iseihu bechol, like the actions in the weekday, kach ma'aseihu b'Shabbos, so too on Shabbos. Ella, there was one minor change. That on Shabbos, they would not be able to actually surround the Aravah, around the Mizbeach. So what would they do? Elishem Melaktin Oisam, they would pick them Me'erev, before Shabbos. And where would they leave them? You leave Aravah, he's just standing, they're going to die. Umanichin Oisam, and they would place them Bigigiyois. Great word. It means a barrel. Bigigiois, shells of golden barrels. What does that help? So Rashi fills in the middle. Yeah, with the water. Mishnah left that point out. But golden barrels with water. Kidei, so that shaloy yichmaishu, should not wither. Finally, Rav Yochanan ben Broika Omer, Yochanan ben Broika says, Charius shel dekel, branches of a dekel. What do we call that?
A lulav.
That's called a lulav. Fascinating what they did. Hayamevi, and they would bring branches of the lulav. Vechayvtin oisan, and they would bang with it. Bekarka. It's just fascinating because they were waiting for them to bang the aravos, and he's busy whacking his lulav. Bitzidei hamizbeach, on the side of the mizbeach. Va'oisa hayoim, and that day, Nikra was called Chavut Charius. The banging of the Charius. Okay. Period. Finally, the Mishnah ends. We have to, obviously, each part of this Mishnah, as you could tell, is its own miyad tinoikos, from the hands of the children. Shoimtim as lulaveim, they would grab their lulavim, assumingly pulling it the right way so they don't rip their hands open. Va'oichlin esrogeyim, and eat their esrogeyim.
Kids.
What in the world is going on here? So Rashi says one detail means on the seventh day, but what's going on here? What, on day 7 we start pulling with every line we will Mir Hashem delve into tomorrow. Weiter, Mr.